The testimony, again, graphic. Ventura's husband, Alex Fine, at one point walking out of court as his wife was peppered with questions about allegedly being raped. Also today, Dawn Richard spotted entering court, the former member of Diddy's girl group, Danity Kane, who prosecutors also called to.
It's been extremely challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me. I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear. For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember, the more I will never forget.
Anything that you may want to confess tonight before you go in?
I keep everything right here.
There you go.
Adorable, right? Well, not once you hear what's really behind that look. Because what Cassie kept under wraps wasn't just some quiet secret. It was a decade-long nightmare. Think fear, control, humiliation, and chaos, all bottled up. And that night at the Met Gala, rumor has it Diddy attacked her in the bathroom. Even worse, other celebrities allegedly witnessed it and said nothing. Fast forward, Cassie, now 9 months pregnant, just testified in Diddy's criminal trial, and what she revealed is beyond disturbing. We're talking forced encounters with strangers, threats of blackmail, emotional meltdowns so dark she admitted she wanted to walk into oncoming traffic. She even likened it to Ike Turner level abuse. Yes, that eat the cake anime kind. Now with the court getting their hands on the footage, the floodgates are open. Let's break down what Cassie endured and how this could shape Diddy's fate. His legal team is scrambling, trying to argue, if things were so bad, why didn't she speak up earlier? But honestly, the reason is heartbreakingly simple.
Cassie, she was embarrassed by it. She even talked about, what would I tell my mom if something like this?
Yeah, that part. A paralyzing fear of what Diddy might do if she so much as pushed back. In a 2017 text message, Cassie wrote, "Nothing good comes out of freak-offs," then added, "You treat me like you're Ike Turner." That line wasn't casual. It was loaded. Those 8 words didn't just name drop, they echoed decades of generational trauma. Because if you know the Tina and Ike story, you know it wasn't just about bruises. It was about domination, controlling her clothes, her food, her songs, her mind. Fear so deep it makes you smile through pain, pretend to love, and lie to survive. That's exactly what Cassie says happened to her. She was barely out of her teens, a rising star, while Diddy, nearly 40, didn't elevate her, he trapped her. When she signed with Bad Boy Records in 2006, it was a 10-album deal. How many did she release after 2006? None. That's right. He promised her a music career and delivered over a decade of torment instead. In court, Cassie said it wasn't just abuse. She was groomed, told she was special, then slowly, stripped of control, year after year. Just like Tina Turner, Cassie had to smile for the cameras while staying silent behind closed doors. But that silence, it's gone. She detailed being forced into freak-offs with male escorts, urinated on, filmed without permission, and violently attacked. Just days ago, male escort Daniel Filla took the stand. His testimony? Shocking. He said Diddy forced Cassie's mouth on him while she was choking, all caught on camera, for blackmail. He said he saw Cassie dragged by her hair twice into a room while screaming and heard what sounded like slaps behind the door. And now, Cassie confirmed it. On the stand, she said the words herself. "Why were you choking? Too much in my mouth." The prosecutor asked, "Did you want Sean to do that to you?" Her reply, "I didn't want anyone to do that to me." When asked how often it happened, she said, "Often enough." And then she added, "I was expected to do freak-offs even on my period." Did she want that? No. Let that sit with you for a second.
Ex-Cassie Ventura, who is 9 months pregnant, was on the stand for the second day in a row. The jury was shown photos of past injuries. She also testified the freak-offs left her with sores, frequent UTIs, and stomach problems.
This wasn't about wild parties or some twisted fantasy. It was calculated, degrading, and ritualistic. Cassie said she couldn't even say no without fearing for her safety. When asked why she spoke to him so softly, she said, "I didn't want him to get angry." She lived in constant caution, even having to delete videos from her own phone to prevent being blackmailed. One message read, "Please delete the videos off your phone. Too many people have access to your devices." His reply? "No iCloud, all good." That's how casual it was for him. Then there's the Ambien kicking in moment, and it only gets darker. After she finally broke things off, he allegedly raped her during a so-called closure talk, right on her living room floor. Now picture this. Cassie, 9 months pregnant, standing in court, just feet from Diddy, having to relive every horrifying detail, knowing the world would hear her words. And as she wrapped up her testimony, strong as ever, that emotional wall finally cracked. For the first time all day, Cassie broke down in tears.
She spoke about in open court in front of everybody, and she broke down today when she was asked by prosecutor Emily Johnson on redirect examination whether Sean Combs had her during freak-offs, those marathon-fueled sessions with male dudes.
But the quote that truly stopped people cold wasn't about money. It was about what money can't fix. She said, "I would give the money back because I would have agency and autonomy, and I wouldn't have to work so hard to get those things back." She was talking about the $20 million Diddy paid to settle the lawsuit, and she'd trade all of it just to feel free. That's not about heartbreak. That's a woman screaming for her freedom. It's why the Ike Turner reference hit so hard in court, because that's what Tina Turner fought for too. Tina once said, "I felt obligated to stay there. I was afraid. After he beat me, I was just sitting there, all bruised and torn, and somehow I felt sorry for him. Maybe I was brainwashed." And Cassie, she told the court she often blamed herself, took the guilt, covered the bruises, smiled when she was breaking inside. She was living two lives, one the public admired, and one that barely felt human in the mirror. "I felt like an object being heavily objectified by men," she said. The trauma was so raw, so real, that even her husband had to leave the room when she described what she went through.
Claiming the defense dragging it out, trying to force a mistrial. The testimony, again graphic. Ventura's husband, Alex Fine, at one point walking out of court as his wife was peppered with questions about allegedly being. Also today, Dawn Richard spotted entering court, the former member of Diddy's girl group, Danity Kane, who prosecutors also called to the stand.
Cassie didn't have to testify. She had already received a $20 million settlement, but she showed up anyway, 9 months pregnant, because she wanted something money couldn't buy, her agency. What she didn't expect was that the storm was just beginning. Just as her courtroom testimony started to fade from headlines, that 2018 Met Gala interview resurfaced. And suddenly, it wasn't just her words, it was video, her face, her body language. That one moment the world overlooked. Now back in 4K, and it was explosive. The Met Gala is supposed to be fashion's most glamorous night, but in 2018, something darker was lurking behind the scenes. "Anything to confess before you go in?" the reporter joked. "I keep everything right here," she said, pointing to her heart. Back then, it seemed flirty, maybe a little mysterious. But now, it feels like a hidden plea. A woman flashing code in plain sight, hoping someone would notice beneath the designer dress. Because that night, according to multiple insiders, Diddy allegedly assaulted her in a bathroom at the event, with other celebs nearby, and no one intervened. That's how abusers like Diddy work. They hurt you in front of people too scared to stop them. In court, Cassie painted a life of no control over her time, her body, even her health. Everything revolved around what she called freak-offs. She said they weren't optional, they were her job. There wasn't time for anything else. The result? Constant infections, pain, scars inside and out. Were the UTIs painful? The prosecutor asked. "Yes, very," she said. And when antibiotics stopped working, the damage became permanent. On top of that, she was recorded during these sessions and threatened with blackmail if she ever stepped away. He said he'd release the videos, she testified, and I'd have to answer to my mother. Horrific. And when the public replayed that Met Gala clip, it wasn't curiosity anymore. It was horror. The rigid posture, the robotic smile, Diddy hovering behind her, grinning but controlling. After the red carpet, in a scene not shown in the live stream, whispers say he assaulted her, again, while others were close enough to hear. No one said a word. Because in 2018, Diddy wasn't a defendant. He was still untouchable, a kingmaker. And Cassie? Just another artist people assumed got lucky by dating the boss. But behind all the glamour, Cassie says she was in a private hell. She testified about being slammed into walls, stomped in the face, dragged across hotel floors, even allegedly dangled over a balcony and thrown across patio furniture. And then came the receipts. Hotel surveillance footage from 2016, now made public, appeared to show Diddy chasing Cassie, slamming her to the floor and kicking her. She'd tried to leave after he allegedly hit her during a drunken rage. Back. Then, it barely made a dent. No charges, no statements. But now, jurors saw everything. The full, unedited 15-minute clip. Cassie, barefoot, in a dark hoodie, using the hotel phone to call for help. The hotel's security director documented the wreckage, shattered vases, damaged walls. And according to reporters inside the courtroom, the silence was chilling. The new footage confirmed her story, that she was trying to escape after a freak-off gone wrong, and Diddy dragged her back. The feds brought out physical evidence too. Money, baby oil, and other items Cassie claimed were used in those freak-offs. Everything matched her story. Every detail lined up with what was found. In Diddy's hotel room the night he was arrested.
Who helped coordinate the search of Sean Combs' hotel room. She's the one that held up $9,000 in cash, kind of fanned it like a deck of cards for the jury to see. She also testified that there was ketamine and MDMA found in Combs' hotel room and other, kinds of supplies that Cassie Ventura said he would stock for freak-offs.
When the prosecution dropped the question that froze the entire courtroom, did he beat you during the freak-offs? Cassie, eyes full of tears, quietly said, yes. And just like that, this isn't about rumors anymore. It's about hard evidence, video surveillance, eyewitness accounts, federal raids, visible bruises, and a woman brave enough to put everything on the line just to reclaim her peace.
Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, who is 9 months pregnant, was on the stand for the second day in a row. The jury was shown photos of past injuries.
And still, after everything, it took this long for people to finally believe her. Which raises the real question. Why did everyone stay silent? Cassie wasn't hidden away in some dark corner. She was in the spotlight. Red carpets, VIP. Lounges, front row fashion shows, and walking beside Diddy at the Met Gala, the Grammys, the BET Awards, always seen yet never truly heard. All the while, she was enduring unthinkable abuse, and none of the celebrities, influencers, or insiders who surrounded them said a word. Now, Cassie has confirmed what the whispers had been hinting at for years, that Diddy surrounded himself with a tight circle, assistants, bodyguards, even fellow celebs, and that she was treated like an object in front of them. Pushed, slapped, stomped on, sometimes publicly. After one brutal night, she showed up at a party visibly bruised, and instead of asking if she was okay, a BET executive told her to smile. Because that's what you do when you're with Diddy, right? Keep the energy high, the picture's pretty, and the questions to yourself. And for those who tried to help, they were shut down. Or worse. Cassie testified that after one assault, she reached out to her ex-boyfriend Kid Cudi for help. Diddy's response? In Cassie's words, Sean said he wanted Scott's friends to see Scott's car blown up. And yes, Kid Cudi's car actually was blown up. If that sounds like a movie script, it's because that's the kind of fear Diddy allegedly used. Money, intimidation, and unchecked power. Daniel Phillips, the male escort who recently testified, echoed the same sentiment. When asked why he didn't go to the police, he said, I thought this was someone with unlimited power, and even if I did speak up, I might still lose my life. And for those not directly threatened, in an industry that worships fame and image, who's going to challenge the man who signs the checks? Even Danity Kane's own Dawn Richard, once one of Diddy's rising stars, was called to testify, having filed her own lawsuit in 2023, accusing him of abuse and exploitation.
Danity Kane, did Diddy you when he was your producer? Did you see Cassie? Excuse me. Were you able to see Cassie? Did Cassie get...
Dawn had worked closely with Cassie for years. She saw everything unfold firsthand. And now, she's done staying silent. She recounted one terrifying moment when Cassie came downstairs asking about Diddy's phone, and he threw her to the ground. As she curled into the fetal position, trying to protect her head, he attempted to kick her. Dawn also testified that she once witnessed Diddy hit Cassie with a skillet full of eggs. She feared for Cassie's safety, but more than that, she feared for her own if she dared to speak up. Still, even with survivors now finding the courage to tell their stories, the silence from the rest of the celebrity world is staggering. Where are the statements from those who stood beside Diddy on red carpets, the ones who once posted enough #MeToo hashtags when it was trending, and are now scrolling past Cassie's pain like it doesn't exist? Let's be honest for a second. The industry shielded him. They let the behavior slide because the music kept charting, because being close to Diddy meant staying close to power. Cassie wasn't seen as a victim. She was seen as lucky, beautiful, someone who had it all. They saw status, not suffering. And even now, after the footage, the photos, the full 15-minute surveillance video, the silence continues. But when Cassie walked out of that courtroom, she didn't say much. Her lawyer, though, did. And her words landed like a gavel.
Extremely challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me. I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from the and fear. For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember, the more I will never forget.
And this isn't just a press statement, it's a declaration of purpose. Cassie's not just standing up for herself anymore. She's giving voice to every woman who's ever been groomed, silenced, or pushed into the shadows while someone else basked in the spotlight. What a week it's been. And now the industry is rattled, because if Diddy goes down, he's not going alone. So here's what I want to hear from you. Do you think Cassie was the only one? Why do you think so many celebrities stayed silent for so long? And do you believe there are more videos still out there waiting to surface? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because we're just getting started. The trial is moving fast, and every day brings a new twist. So make sure you're subscribed, stay locked in, and get ready. The next update might just shake Hollywood to its core. See you then.